numbers of the days. I just want it to go on.
That's why you are not inviting me.
No, not yet.
To break with you.
Not yet.
I thought this was about, fostering unity and
we'll get to that
and
level.
harmony.
We'll get to that.
It's when on Ramadan day I don't see my changing and a little bit of jollof or me and tosa or whatever it is. I'm getting that. Abuja will hear our voice. Nice to see you in the studio today. How was your weekend?
Very grateful. Let's go.
How much water have we had today? We have to do that.
I think you can see a big rubber in front of me, although the camera is not picking it, but
I'm proud of you. I think you had more water than me today. I'm not very proud. I think I've had just about 1.5 liter of water the entire day, which is 1/3 of what I'd usually have had. At this time, I had a very busy day. I've not had time to drink water. So this is me calling myself out. I'm going to do the best I can to have more water after the show. Are you ready for us to look at the stories?
Definitely, let's do that.
I think you're even more than ready.
Oh.
You can't wait for it. Starting very lightly. Cable cut. Remember there was a cable cut
yes.
under the sea that has been causing us to have internet problems. Well, NCC tells Nigerians that the cable cuts have been restored. It's been put together. The statement was issued by the Director of Public Affairs in NCC, that's Ruben Muka, and he said services have now been restored to approximately 90% of their peak utilization capacities. I think I don't stand alone. I speak for several Nigerians when I say, well, we deserve some, a level of compensation, even if it's, free data. Because I don't know why the internet was down, but I still suffered. My data got exhausted faster than it usually would, even when the internet was down. So, I think something should be done about that. Shouldn't it? Don't you agree?
I think we want to most of all, although many people were like, what really happened? Some people felt it, some people didn't felt it. And it brings to the understanding that we also need to educate ourselves on what really happened. There are two sides to it. The fiber optic undersea cable is one. Then we also have the satellite optic that we also use for internet, which has to do with dish setting in the atmosphere. So that one. So why many people did not feel the impact of this particular issue was that some network provider rely on the satellite type with the dish and the rest of them that is mounted on the atmosphere from the satellite image. So while others rely on the underbelly sea fiber optic that had damages, and most of them were some of our banks. That's why I see some bank transaction was not going smoothly.
Especially the Orange Bank was, let me not throw too much shade.
Exactly. But as we said, the NCC came out and said, okay, at least 90% repair has been done. Then the main company that handle the fiber optics on the sea belly, which, if you permit me to mention their name, Main One, has also came out with their statement and said, okay, they are working tirelessly to ensure that this particular repair is done faster, so that they can restore the entire network service. And good for it. Many have already started enjoying the network service because over the weekend, banks transfer were not going smoothly as expected. But thank God we are getting over it right now. So we just hope that all will be done as fast as possible. So for me, the lesson is that relying on two sources will not be enough. We should think of alternative, maybe 4 or 5 sources for internet provision, especially for the West African coast that depend on this undersea belly fiber optic. It affected over 9 countries in West Africa and some southern African countries, including South Africa and the rest of it.
You can imagine how many businesses had to suffer for it. Not just businesses, even relationships. I saw somewhere on X, someone said, you guys should send this message to my girlfriend because she's saying that I turned off my phone and I didn't. Lots of transactions actually suffered. Several people suffered multiple embarrassments and failed transactions because of this. So I think a compensation would do well. It would be very nice if they could compare. And please, I'm not talking about those 100 MBs you throw around because we all know it does not.
That is if the companies are ready, because they also will claim that they have lost. Because hardly before corporate organizations do freebies get it. They also look at they weigh it side by side what they have lost and what they expect them to do. But for me, what I'm really calling for as an economist is that we should just be depending on 2 sources. I think we should have 2, 3, 4, 5 sources. Alternatively, for internet provision, either under the water, under the cable, whatever means. We should just have other sources beyond just two, because it also happened in the US some few weeks ago. In some part of the US, that they could not make phone call, they should not do internet, as a result of relying on just one source supplying about 5 to 6 states internet provision.
Okay.
They are thinking about multiple alternative that will help them out.
I hope that they can spring to action as fast as they did this. I mean, this is one of the fastest we've seen anything being fixed, maybe because, of course, it directly affects the pockets of multi-million dollar businesses or, naira businesses on across different fronts. So, I mean, if issues like this are being treated with a lot of, with even more speed, I think promptness is the word. I think more Nigerians will be, or more people would even be more, satisfied with the amount of type of services that they get. I mean, you can take, for example, the power outage situation in the country. Yes, it's getting better, but how much better is it? We also have areas where their transformers have been down for ages, months, and some as much as 7 to 9 months, and they would just drop on getting power. See, these services are very, very important to day-to-day activities, and businesses thrive on them. We're trying to see how we can make the country more economically conducive for businesses to thrive, and power, internet services, these things come together to make the scope of the things that can actually make that environment what we want it to be. Now let's go to the story that is the elephant in the room. About 4 days ago, a very, very sad happenstance happened in Delta State, in Okwama community, and military personnel were killed. I would call it a butchery, slaughter. It was very, very sad. The gory pictures making rounds. I'm just going to take a break here to say, that's from giving you details of the story, to say, don't engage in doing that, in sharing gory pictures. They do no good to nobody, absolutely, in any situation at all. We've seen this happen time and time again, where people lose their lives from community clashes or things like that, and people just always circulate these gory pictures, and it can be very, very sad, and a lot of people it could make people want to escalate the situation, and vengeance and all that, and before you know it, the country is on fire, and nobody really wants that. Now the Nigerian army is saying that the development confirmed that the killing was a community orchestrated attack, and at least 15 military personnel were killed by the Irate youths during a communal clash over land dispute in Bomadi and Okuma communities that are in the states. Now, the personnel attached to the 181 amphibious battalion were responding to a distress call when they were ambushed and killed on Thursday. Now, several people have reacted to this, and they've given their 2 cents on the matter. We're going to look at it in-depthly and look at, where we went wrong. But just before that, let me read from parts of the statement that was released by General Onyema Nwachukwu, who is the director of Army Public Relations. That's Major General Onyema Nwachukwu. He said, the statement read, and I quote, "The unfortunate killing of troops of the 181 Amphibious Battalion of the Nigerian Army while on a peaceful and mediatory mission after a reported case of communal clash between the Okuma and Okoloba communities in Ughelli South and Bomadi local governments of Delta State respectively is not only despicable but should be unreservedly condemned by all. These were troops committed to peace and security of lives and property of citizens and non-citizens alike in the Niger Delta region. They were murdered in cold blood by an armed youth gang of Okwama community in the most gruesome, heartless, and cruel manner, and went ahead to sacrilegiously debase their remains by ripping out their hearts by the very people they went to protect. Of course, it goes on and on, but he's just saying this is very, very sad. We shouldn't have the people that are there to protect lives and property to be lynched like that. Of course, there was propaganda all over social media, or at least that is what it is being termed at the moment, saying that, well, these people were attacked. These people opened fire on villagers, and about 50 villagers were killed. Now, that's what the residents of the Okwama community in Ughelli South local government area of Delta State are narrating. They're saying that, oh yeah, actually these soldiers came to mediate, but they wanted to arrest some of our high chiefs, and we said no, we stood our ground, you cannot take them, and they opened fire on the residents, on the people, and there are several residents who came forward with even their names to say, oh, this is the situation. One of the residents said on March the 14th, military personnel visited Okwama and the people welcomed them. The first said they wanted to walk around the community. They walked around and they said they wanted to go to the town hall for a peace talk. The people entertained them as customary to such visit. They then asked for the community chairman, and the community chairman and the community leaders, they sat with them and held peace talks together. After then, they asked the community chairman and some of the leaders to follow them. The people said they had already held peace talks with them, but they insisted that they must take the leaders away. The community refused, and from there, the army turned the whole story to violence right there in the community town hall. The army started shooting at our people. The people started running. Some were killed instantly, and people ran away because nobody expected shooting by the army that day. Basically, that's the back and forth, both sides of the story. The army are saying, we just went there to hold peace talks with this individual. We had no intentions of turning this, of, having people killed. They were killed ruthlessly and unprovocatedly, and the community people are saying, well, no, that's not what happened. They wanted to take our leaders, but we didn't want them to do that, and it became violent and they opened fire. So the killing of the military personnel was what's it called now? Like a reprisal attack. Like you killed our people, we're just killing back. An eye for an eye makes the world go blind. What are your thoughts, Adi Folaring, about this unfortunate incident?
I'm quite surprised that we are seeing a narrative that is just coming so late, after 2-3 days. I don't know where this report came out, but the first two reports that came out from the military, came out from the newspaper, the traditional newspaper that reported the case, and the state government. So where does these people now gather themselves and begin to put interview out and begin to say? So, but for me, what I want to put out is this. I know everybody wants to defend anything.
I like that you quickly swayed away from who first put what out, because we know that nobody who they first go police station I ain't go win case.
Exactly.
Sometimes who first reported doesn't necessarily.
On the whole issue, the way the theoretical way they were attacked, the theoretical way the military were attacked showed it was an ambush. It wasn't that anybody had any meeting with anybody. And
so you're saying that the entire community are coming together to lie?
Definitely. The thing is that
entire community.
The thing is that
not being a little bit
one-sided? No. Listen, if you follow the genesis of this crisis since over 5 years, these two communities have been having issue. In the previous administration of Governor Kowa, he immediately went into meetings with this community to shave their sword over land dispute. But because one of the community asked overwhelming because of their I won't say they were criminals, but because of their overwhelming support of their youth who have now embraced arms and ammunition. You get it? And the other community was seen to be more or less unpowerful. You get it? But we won't go to that details. But what I'm trying to point out is that in as much as I understand the way people are now throwing up all manner of defensive action or defensive statement to portray how the military came into the community, they had meetings. The community were, so many stories, but the key message still remains that the state governors are really pointed at what really happened, according to them, because they didn't just send the military there, they also sent state officials to go over there, and the state official report back to the governor. And that's why the governor, the moment the thing happened, he said all the people who participated in that killing must be fished out. If there was a meeting between the military and the people, the state governor will say it. They would have given him. They were giving false report. The officials who he sent also were also giving false report.
Now I'm saying would he now because like I said to you off air, the Nigerian government, right, the administration, the army, whoever is standing on that side of the fence, have given the Nigerian people absolutely no room to trust them.
Definitely.
We've sat in this studio several times to discuss the disadvantages of the government not instilling trust in their people. How can the trust be built? By accountability and transparency. If the government of the day, say the Delta State government, has had a track history of being transparent in their negotiations, even down to the littlest of things, I doubt that if this was a propaganda, because at the end of the day they said there are three truths, right? Your truth, my truth, and the truth, right? The truth, we would have believed straight up what it was that the federal government was saying. That the state government is saying about this. Do the Nigerian people have a right to actually doubt the submission of the government and the military in this instance? Given that, Adefolarin, we've seen how military officials behave during peacekeeping missions. For starters, is the reason why people would make jokes on stand-up comedy stages and say, you go slap soldier, you go know it and go. I don't know if you understand it.
Definitely.
Of course, we're going to come to the legalities of actually attacking someone wearing the uniform, patriotism and the place of it and all that. But now let's focus on the trust issue of it. Whatever went down in that town hall, whether something happened in the town hall during a meeting or didn't, and now we have several military officials dead. Do you think that the Nigerian people actually have a right to question the report of both the military and the government?
You asked yourself, which set of Nigerians are questioning the report?
No, the question I asked, you see, what we are not going to do, is ignore the questions that are being asked and decide to write our own questions. I think what we should be doing is answering all of the questions across board, irrespective of what side the question seems to
come from.
Yes. So now the question is, like I always say on the show, no Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. Even if it is 0.001% of Nigerians that are asking the question, do we have a right to not trust the government? I think they deserve to be heard. So do you think they should? They have the right to not believe the government?
Definitely. If the people are not believing the government, the people will also have problem not to believe in themselves. I don't know whether I get it. If we have come to a level in this country that, like, both of us are in this studio now, by the time we get out there, we say, we are four in the studio, we are 10 in the studio. Some people will choose to believe us, some people will not choose to believe us.
Absolutely.
Somebody could even went ahead and said, don't mind that there are even 50 in the studio, and they say they have 2. That is how Nigerians has become to the level. And you have rightly pointed out, the problem is because of the kind of leadership we have bestowed on ourselves. Nobody trusts leadership capacity anymore. And that's transmitted into the even institution that we have, like the military.
Now that you've said that, do you think that thing you just said, the lack of trust, has also led Nigerians to a place where they feel if we don't stand and protect ourselves, we can't trust that the military or the police are going to do this for us? Is there a chance that this attack on these military officials was some sort of expression of that mistrust in the government? We've had even Senate officials. I will name names. Senator Ned Wako, he was out the other day saying, allow Nigerians to carry arms if the military cannot protect them. We've talked about how
because he has already provided arms for his private guard.
We are not talking about. I don't think that is why. I think the why is because he knows that there are problems. If we want to say the why on that extent, it was because a relative of his was kidnapped and killed. That was why when he started to push for that. But we cannot say because he had already provided these arms for his people, is not justifiable that we would be worried that Nigerians cannot trust the military or trust the security personnel agencies generally to be able to cater for their security. Would you say that could have played a role in whether or not this is a propaganda?
Definitely, there's a mistrust between the governance and the people. That is key. But we should also understand the problem of communal clash when it comes to land, particularly when they are fighting over ancestral land. It's very deep. No government has successfully settled the issue of communal clashes when it comes to land in Nigeria, particularly when it now becomes something that it has now been politicized. And that was the level the government of Delta State was trying to avoid, so that they will not politicize that communal clash into something else. You get it? And that's why he was trying to use every other means, because in the past, if they have used police that they have used in the past, no result. So his thinking was that by the time you call in the military to assist to quell the issue or quell the problem, the people could trust the military. Okay, they will do justice. But what they now got in reverse was something else. But that apart. But in Nigeria that we are today, blessing, we believe anything. If government say yes, our people believe it is no. They are saying.
You can't blame the Nigerian people.
We have established why they are like that.
Thank you very much.
But on the other hand, it's a damage to us, because now, as both of us are in this, I said we are just three in this studio. If we tell them that out
are
there,
we three or two? Because people on YouTube
no. AY is in one corner there. That is three. But if we go out and say we are three, somebody may write a narrative and don't mind that there are even 10 in that studio. And that's how the level that
now,
Nigeria.
But then who is the onus on to prove that we are three?
Now, to the public issues, to the public problem, it is to the government. But to us in this room, is it our problem? Are we the one that caused it?
It could be.
No.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why
ahead.
It could be, because now we are using this as just to be able to look at the issue at hand, right? The reason why it could be a problem is because we have had a time in Nigeria in the days of Olusegun Obasanjo when an entire community was wiped out by the military. Hold on. I'm not even going to come from the perspective I came from when we were off air, because that was just random bans. Now I'm saying we've had that happen. The people of Okwama community, they are at risk. They are at very serious risk now. They have the onus of proving that they were actually because whether or not it was a reprisal attack, what they did was wrong. But the onus of proving it is on them now. If people were killed, where are the bodies? Because there are bodies of the military. And if we say we cannot trust the government to give us a full report, I mean, the governor of Delta State was in the community with some military officials, and journalists were kept out. Who is going to tell your story? Nobody else but you. If you didn't tell your story in the first place, we wouldn't have heard the story in the first place from your perspective. So who would you say that they have the onus of proving to Nigerians now that the military are saying this is just propaganda? This was not warranted for. This is something that you just did simply because you felt that you could do it. Because I mean, we're not going to turn a blind eye to the region where this happened. This happened in Delta State, for God's sakes. I don't know if you understand.
I get it.
I don't want to push a narrative that is stereotypical, but I think we all know what that means. So then again, the question I'm asking you is, do these people owe the onus of proving if this is a propaganda, and should they be permitted to actually prove it?
Definitely they will be permitted. I think an inquiry will need to be set up. But the question is that they push that narrative out. They will prove it. And they will use every other means to prove it. But the problem they will have is that the people who is even helping them to push it out are even pushing it more than they expected it to be pushed out. Because on because on the social media now, the narrative that they have painted now, people are now expanding that narrative beyond just it was a reprisal attack. No, it was an ambush. No, we had a meeting. We had this, we had that. So people are now expanding that narrative beyond what the community, people of that community will even say that in the first place, to defend themselves, because what they are trying to do is to defend themselves so that they do not have much problem. But it has gone beyond them, because all this being put together now, that's what will form the report that will become question to be answered when inquiry is set up. Because
of want of time, I have no idea why the time is running or where it's running to this evening, but because of want of time, let's look at why then, if this is said to be an ambush by the military, why would they want to ambush the military? This communal clash has been happening for well over 5 months, right? It's been that bad. Definitely. I'm sure that state police have been involved. The police itself, the IPCR, that's the help me now, the
is there the
Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution. They've been involved in this. No one was killed. The army is introduced into the equation, and now they are being ambushed. The question is, does a serpent just strike unprovoked? Are these people mentally ill? Are there grievances against them? What is the intent behind these attacks?
I think we need to understand
or this attack.
We need to understand why this particular attack came up. I think the fear of the people was that maybe at the end of the day, their land will be taken, or the land will be given back to the other community that claim to own the land. And maybe that's why they attack. And again, as I earlier established,
so now it's maybe. Now we're back to maybe.
No. As I earlier established, this particular community that attacked the military, we are seen to be more armed and been associated to what they call militant gang before. You get it? And with that willpower and gunpower they have, they can do and undo. And you actually pointed out that the Institute of Peace and
Conflict Resolution.
Do you know why they refuse to go back and negotiate or going back into the meeting with those people? Because they have been threatened, including the police. The DSS also withdraw. The governor himself have to write to the Minister of Defense and have a permission authority that the military should help him out in this matter. That's the level that the matter have gone.
Then again, my question is, what is the mens rea? What is the intent? What is the intent? What is the proof of intent that these people had to attack the military?
Because they believe that they have the superior power of gun. Do you know what it means for you to have arms? Just recently, Delta State, there was a arms manufacturing site was discovered in Delta State where you can produce 47 AK-47 in 24 hours with ammunition and the rest of it in the same Delta State. It has now become an hotbed for arms manufacturing. You get it? So those people believe that they have it. And if we make, as I earlier pointed out, that enclave of that community also belong to the repentant militant of the past. Repentant militant who have also gone back to pick up their arms because they believe that the land in question is an oil-rich land. Do you know what it means by the time they drill oil well in that particular community?
But then again, who has threatened their oil wells to? I'm just trying to get us to a point where we can make sense of this.
Exactly.
Because it's starting to look like it's a he said, she said situation. The military are saying this is propaganda. The people are saying, no, our people were killed. We're not mad people. We can't just start killing people like that. And it's starting to sound like we are forgetting that there was an issue on ground. How do we come to the realization of what really happened in that community in Delta State 4 days ago? And I really want us to dwell on that. Sadly, we have just about 5 minutes to wrap up the show.
Exactly.
So after you answer that, then we can now look at the legalities around actually assaulting an officer of the law, putting your hands on that is dressed in uniform.
The issue is that the community have commit a sacrilege that have not turned the eyes of everybody away from the issue on ground. The real communal clashes, the real issue, it has now turned it the other way. So instead of them to solve their problem in a soft way, they have now made it so hard. Whatever they are claiming on the land, whatever they are hoping to get from the land, because of this atrocity now, they can't get it again. And whoever would have advised them that attacking the military or carrying out that sacrilege will help them to get the land. As someone pointed out in one of the TV analysis this morning, that everybody is now putting up an enclave of ethnicity in his domain. We want to control our area. We want to show the show of force to show that we also belong. We also have the power. I think that was the community wanted to do.
Doesn't this just go on to show how much of a failed security system or a failed government we have? That the people have gotten to a place where they are behaving like a banana republic. That we have absolutely no regard for the institutions that represent the country. I take you back to October 20th, 2022, where people were shot holding the Nigerian flag, where we had Nigerian blood staining the Nigerian flag, which is sacrilege on the flag of the country. Wherever is it said that someone putting on a military uniform or a uniform representing any security outfit, government security outfit of a country, that those people can be attacked, and then it's going to be lightly taken with, and then it becomes a media conversation.
The issue is this.
Because an attack, I'm so sorry, I just real quick, shouldn't it be in the law, right? as stated by the law, that an attack on someone wearing a uniform that has been given to them by the by the Federal Republic of Nigeria is an attack on the country itself.
Everybody knows that. It's already stipulated in the law. The problem we have is that the institutions have been poorly managed. The institutions have also been politicized in a way that it has not become a jack for all to be traded on. When you made mention of Need Woko saying Nigerians can arm themselves,
should be allowed to arm themselves,
and I made mention. I said because he has already provided arms for his military guide or his police guard that is following him. Because once you are a VIP and they give you some police, they also instruct you to buy guns for them if you have the opportunity, or buy bullets for them. So that's how it becomes that level. So what has happened is because of the poor management of institutions like the military, the police, or security agencies being politicized in a way that everybody just clamping on them, and them themselves who are in that position because they want to remain in power, they don't want to retire, they want to also enjoy the luxury of working for the politicians, they just give themselves away. And not to forget that fake military guys, fake police are also out there. People are sewing the uniform and wearing it.
Whose responsibility is it to be sure that doesn't happen?
Is the government.
I mean,
but are they sanctioned?
Wearing the fake uniform. Whenever I hear that, whenever I see how everybody is losing their minds over people wearing, camouflage and all of that, I'm like, have you been to the Western world? You wear it in respect of
even
the
if
army.
Even in Western world, you don't just wear it. And
You
say
wear
you are a
respect.
veteran.
No.
Or no. Don't.
No.
Those ones that those guys are wearing, are they the real color?
Yes. Yes, you'd wear you wear. I'm telling. No, this is not them say. It is okay.
You
It's
wear
in
with
respect.
the permission, and that's what the police wanted to introduce to skit maker. You don't like all those celebrities.
No, that one.
you see.
Say in Nigeria, the rule is completely different, and I'm saying this on authority. This is not. I am not thinking about this twice. I am not. I'm saying it. If you do, I'm talking about the US now. You can wear camouflage in the United States of America
with all the badges and the colors.
Of course, you're not going to wear the badges.
Definitely, it's not the main one.
In Nigeria here, if you wear Ankara that looks like camo, you're in trouble for it.
Definitely.
I don't know if you understand. It's a very long, it's a very big gap in between. So when it comes to that, I'm just like, we have bigger fish to fry. There's a way to fetch out criminal minds versus, crime is not as, anyway.
So what I want to point out that in the US that we are talking about, when you wear those camouflage, you don't have all the features, all the paraphernalia features that the real American soldiers put on their uniform. Because I've seen a lot of celebrity wearing it, but not the kind of features that you can see on the real one, that the one they sent to Afghanistan, or the one they sent to Iran, or the one that is at our backyard there in Mali put on. But that's aside. But what I'm trying to point out is this: for the sake of justice, for the community that was involved, for the military guys that were killed,
for the lives.
For the life, definitely, because we're talking about lives now. Because what I'm picking out from this discussion is that it is the life that matters. We can't just be losing precious life
and
anyhow because of the mistakes
more
of certain individual or mistake of poor governance structure
that
we have instituted in the country.
Absolutely.
And that is where the message is coming from
it's a very, very sad situation. We've gotten ourselves in we've got in a situation where our country has become a place where humans have become numbers and barely anything else. It's like, 200 people were killed, 50 people were shot at. We were going to look at the fresh kidnap that happened just this evening in Kaduna again. About 50 or 70 people again were taken in the same Kaduna state. Just now we were just talking about 200, almost 300 people that were taken. Human beings have become just numbers. And the security situation in the country is too serious for us to be, having issues over and paying attention to land communal clashes about land. No, for real. Let's be for real. We have bigger fish to fry in Nigeria as opposed to looking at the issues we do have here. Thank you very much, Adi Folarin, for coming to the studio. Our time has reached.
But on the Kaduna issue, for me, I think those kidnappers should be wary.
We definitely would look at it.
They will not get a kobo, a dime.
I do hope that they do not get a kobo, and I do hope that they do not cause any more harm to these individuals. Like I said, we should have a Nigeria where people are not kidnapped in the first place. That's the kind of Nigeria we are clamoring for. Not the Nigeria where people are already, they're already taken before we are talking about how can we get them out of there. All right, my name is Chinwe Blessing. Remember, no Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. These bodies are human beings like yourself and I. We have to stand up for a Nigeria that protects the rights and the rights of every single Nigerian. It doesn't help anybody if we are bringing people down. When I say that, I mean taking the lives of other people. It is not our place to do that. And the government should sit up so that people can begin to trust that you will actually do the right thing and not start to take the law into their hands. We don't want Nigeria to fall down like a pack of cards. Thank you very much for listening. This has been an amazing episode of VOP Roundoff. My name remains Chinwe Blessing, leaving you with John Legend, with ordinary people. And of course, rest in peace to all of our fallen heroes. Rest in peace to everybody who lost their lives in this very unfortunate incident. And may God give their families the fortitude to bear the loss.